David Sutherland, would you like to make a comment?
Hi. Thanks for taking my comment. My name is David Sutherland. I'm a resident of Niles and an organizer with the Northwest Side Coalition Against Racism and Hate. Back in June, after calling Niles PD several times and not getting anywhere, 1 month ago, we published an open letter regarding the Niles PD displaying the racist thin blue line symbol on their face masks and across social media. So we published this letter on our website at nwscoalition.com and sent it via email to the chief of police, copying the mayor and the board of trustees. No one from the village of Niles responded to our letter, so we had to request FOIA internal documents to learn about how this matter was being dealt with. What we saw were many examples of this thin blue line divisiveness on display. In a FOIA document, when Steve, the village manager, said, quote, "We reject those who believe that the support for the thin blue line is associated with racism, hatred, and bigotry," that's, I can only take as a rejection of the lived experiences of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. In another FOIA document, we read more thin blue line divisiveness when the chief of police, Luis Tiguera, said, quote, "Leave it as an internal move," when asked by the village manager whether or not to share with the board of trustees a letter to police officers about replacing the thin blue line masks with neutral masks. And to top it all off, Mayor Chavillo stoked racist misinformation with the false equivalency between Black Lives Matter and so-called Police Lives Matter in the most recent Focus on Niles newsletter. We hear the chief of police cite accountability and transparency as the top 2 of his 5 elements of policing model, saying it's the future of the police department. But we've seen how in practice it's toothless. With communities across the country banning the symbol in their police departments, Niles is apparently refusing to take such an action. This racial insensitivity from Niles PD and the village is unacceptable. To rectify this, we request accountability through 3 reforms. Number 1, create and fund a permanent equity and diversity officer position to craft and implement a racial equity assessment and plan for the village of Niles. Number 2, elect a civilian police accountability council to ensure that actually we have democratic control over the police. And number 3, mandate effective annual anti-racism and diversity training for all elected officials and village employees. Niles still has the opportunity to take a lead in addressing systemic racism in our institutions. And it's what our community requires to ensure inclusiveness for all residents. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Stephen Yasell, would you like to make a comment? Go ahead, Stephen Yasell. Would you like to make a comment?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, board. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick rebuttal to that last public comment. We really respect our community in Niles, and a lot of our community is part of the police department. And this really feels, it's politically motivated for specific purposes, but asking for a diversity officer for hiring purposes, this is getting in the territory of anti-white and anti-community. And I'm not for that, but I respect our officers that live in our community and are residents of our community. And I know that there are officers in the department that live outside of Niles, but we need to respect each other. We need to respect our residents, and we need to come together as a community and not be so divisive with all of this political talk with certain movements that are going on right now nationally. As far as Niles is concerned, I think it's a great community, and we all do need to stick together as a community, and that's the only way that we're going to get through all of this divisiveness. So that's all I got to say. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.